We talked last week about this horrible decision from the Supreme Court following the Citizens United decision, which allowed corporate spending in elections, which has now allowed unlimited spending each election cycle for donors. So previously there was a $123,000 limit on what an individual could spend in one election cycle on campaign contributions. That has been lifted, okay? And former Republican presidential candidate and Speaker of the House Newt Gingrich was arguing that allowing unlimited contributions would actually equalize the middle class with the rich. I don't understand how. I listened to the clip, I watched the clip several times, and I really don't understand how this would happen. I'll play it for you, and maybe somebody in the audience can make heads or tails out of it.
So speech matters. But what's happened is you've gone from that original decision to Citizens United, which said, in effect, that corporations could give and created super PACs. Now you've said they're unlimited. The next step is the one Justice Clarence Thomas cited. Candidates should be allowed to take unlimited amounts of money from anybody, and you would overnight equalize the middle class and the rich. The problem today is Bloomberg can spend an extraordinary amount of money buying the mayor of New York.
Even for Newt Gingrich standards, this is absurd. Unlimited campaign contributions will allow those who have unlimited money to contribute to hold all the power, even more power. And remember, the $123,000 limit that previously existed was only reached by very few people. I read one report that said only 700 donors actually reached the $123,000 limit, even if it were 5 times that, even if it were 10 times that. A tiny, tiny fraction of political donors actually reach the $123,000 limit that previously existed. Therefore, removing the limit is not going to do anything for a majority of contributors because they already weren't reaching the $123,000 limit. What it is going to do is allow those who have the money to make $123,000 per election cycle in contributions to contribute even more if they want, further reinforcing the plutocratic system that I've been talking about on this program for a really, really, really long time. So Newt Gingrich, I don't understand the argument he's making. If you do, if you honestly agree with Newt that lifting the campaign contribution limits will allow the middle class to equalize with the rich, let me know. Maybe Newt doesn't really know the definition of the word equalize or has a different definition for it. Let's take a break. Hatriot Mail is next. Excellent Hatriot Mail today. You're not going to want to miss it. So much more coming up on today's program.